Chris, thank you Darren as always, and good to be live on the Sky Sports streams. It's great to be here in Peterborough ahead of another huge night of boxing. Obviously challenging times right now. Unfortunately we had the news yesterday of Savannah Marshall having to pull out due to Peter Fury contracting coronavirus. We wish him the best, hope we get that fight on as soon as possible. But a huge show, live on Sky Sports DAZN, and so many great fights to look forward to. Obviously a couple of weeks ago we had the return of Joshua Buatsi, one of the UK's brightest stars with a big win. Chantel Cameron becoming the newest world champion from the UK, female world champion from the UK. And it seems apt to start with another great fight, a debutant here in Ellie Scotney against Bet Connolly. Bet, we'll start with you. Big fight Saturday night. How are you feeling ahead of it?
Yeah, it's quite exciting, isn't it? Like, didn't think with all this COVID stuff this year that we'd get to box this year at all. So.
And obviously you just joined a new team, new management team, training teams. How have you found that recently? Big change for you?
Massive change, because obviously I've been with Paddy for the best part of 10 years. So I'm with Mike in Malmesbury now, new management as well in Siesta. So yeah, well, we did sit down and have a conversation. I was like, small hall boxing's not coming back for a long, well, I can't see it coming back for a long while with this COVID stuff. So it's time to do the big shows or not at all.
And obviously Ellie's debut on Saturday, you've had a lot of experience. Football like Harper Jones, how do you think that will help you on Saturday night? Do you think this is early for Ellie, you know, a tough fight for her to take as the first fight? And do you think you're going to go in there with that experience and, you know, will aid you in there?
Experience is only any good if you use it, and I'm absolutely going to use it. But having said that, it's not your traditional debutee, and I think people in boxing know that already. Like, Ellie's got a lot of accolades behind her.
And Ellie, obviously, debut Saturday night. I heard a couple of weeks ago you just quit your job, so you're full on now with boxing, obviously training with Adam Booth and the team down there. How are you feeling, how are you finding it? Learned a lot being in the same camp as the likes of Michael Conlon, Josh Kelly, etc.
Yeah, I'm just grateful, you know, to be given this opportunity in the circumstances and to be around those people in the gym. I'm learning outside of boxing, and I'm just thankful and just, yeah, trying to be a sponge for everything in that gym.
And obviously there was the potential for you to go to, you're looking at possibly the Olympics, made the decision to turn pro. What made that decision for you?
Yeah, do you know what? In hindsight, it looked like a tough decision, but I've never looked back once. And as a character and my boxing, it just wasn't settling well up there, and I just didn't love boxing like I used to. And as soon as I made the decision, I fell in love with it again.
And how do you see it going Saturday night? You got a prediction for the first fight?
A win, and just, yeah, get my journey started.
We've got something a bit different because I'm not quite up to the skills of Eddie Hearn. We thought we'd get some questions from the fans as well. So we've got a question from Julie Hunter from our YouTube, Matchroom Boxing YouTube. She said, women's boxing is booming at the minute. How active do you want to be over the next 12 months?
So long, you know, as soon as I box Saturday, I'd like to go out the next week, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's a great time to be involved in women's boxing. As soon as I get started, I want to keep going.
And obviously, Bet, you know, as we say, a huge time for female boxing. You've got the likes of Katie Taylor, who recently just defended her undisputed titles, fights again November 14th. Tasha Jonas, Terry Harper, great fight there. You know, Terry Harper returns. Great time for women's boxing. Obviously, a big win here for you could mean a lot for your career and some big fights down in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And inactivity as a boxer is like the killer. It's what like kills your spirit inside. You want to be busy and you want to be out there. And I think that's why we all were so upset this year, because March time, just sold all my tickets, ready to fight, and boom, done. No money, no fight, no nothing. So this is a great platform to be on, and yeah, I'm just really grateful that's happening.
Good. And finally, just, you know, you're obviously supposed to make your debut back in March. Do you feel these extra, obviously been difficult times, but these extra 6 months have helped you and you've learned a lot more in that period, and it's aided you know, for your debut now? You've learned a lot in the fight, ahead of the fight.
Yeah, massively. You know, I learned a lot about DIY too, so I got that in my little banner now. So yeah, you know, 6 months is just how it was written. It's the way it's meant to be, and yeah, I just can't wait to get to work now.
Perfect. Look forward to it. We're going to do a quick head-to-head, and then we'll throw Chris. Good to hear from Hannah there as well. You know, as you know, we're going to work hard to get that fight on as soon as possible for both fighters. Now, as you say, big fight coming up next between Thomas Patrick Ward and Thomas Asomba. Obviously, very late notice switch in this card, but Thomas, you had a fight around 3 weeks ago, so you know, stayed fit, stayed active. Do you feel that, you know, especially within a period where fighters haven't really had the opportunity to have multiple fights, be ready, do you feel that that will help you on Saturday night ahead of a big fight against Thomas Walker?
Yeah, first of all, I want to say thank you for the opportunity. I thought last month that I think the outcome going to help me for this fight. Even I didn't expect to fight very soon. And the notice they gave me was very short. But I believe that the camp I done on the last fight is going to help me for this fight.
And obviously, I think you sparred with Thomas Patrick Ward a few times. Do you feel that that will help you with the fight on Saturday? You obviously know about him, you know the way he fights. So do you feel that will help you in the fight?
Yeah, that is quite long. It's quite very long because as one aspiring, I think that is years ago now. And everyone changed. Believe that, but I know that aspiring, I know how to fight, and I think I'm going to find a solution when we're going to start the fight.
And before your fight with Edwards, who is also marked to be a future star, future world champion, you'd had 2 big wins. Do you feel like you're in the prime of your career now, and a win on Saturday night will just take you off from there?
To be honest, for me, every fight is important for me. Every fight doesn't matter who you are. Just try to win, try to beat my record. And the opportunity I have to fight Tommy is a big opportunity. And by the grace of God, I know I have to take it.
Thanks, Thomas. And back over to Thomas then. Obviously, late change of opponent for you on Saturday night. How do you think that will affect you? You've been training for a long time. Again, you were supposed to box on the April 4th show. Unfortunately, that got delayed and back out now. How do you think that change will affect you? Or are you ready to go?
No, I'm ready to go. Obviously, yeah, it's changing opponents, but you know, our training regime doesn't change at all. It doesn't matter who we're fighting when we train hard, 100%, ready and focused. I'm ready to go on Saturday night.
And obviously 29-0 now, so you're not far away from potential world title opportunities. You've worked a long time to get to this point. This could be a stumbling block ahead of those big fights. So there's a lot of pressure on your back here to get the win against Thomas.
Yeah, no, definitely. Listen, every fight's got to be won. It doesn't matter what the calibre of the fight is. Every fight's got to be won. For me, I was supposed to fight Garcia, who was ranked in the WBO, and that would push me on to get the world title shot. But we're still pushing for the world titles. I believe I'm ready to fight any of the world champions. I believe I'll beat any of them. So I'm ready to take on the full division. But listen, we've got a fight on our hands on Saturday night against Thomas. I'm looking forward to it.
I believe during lockdown you helped raise some money for the NHS. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, so obviously when the fight got cancelled in April, I got involved in my local community, my local charities and food banks and stuff, and then started raising money for them and also for the NHS. Obviously everything we were doing was very good. So while the time I had out the gym, I wanted to do something back for the community and just raise that money just to say thanks.
Great stuff. We got a question here from the Matchroom Boxing Twitter. It's from Elliot Smith. He asked you, Tommy, a win Saturday will take you to 30-0. Surely a world title shot is in 2021. That must be your goal for the new year.
That's definitely my goal, yeah. Just been working with MTK and Matchroom and Eddie now, so hopefully we can come together and get some big fights made.
And how do you see it go? What's your prediction for Saturday night? How do you see it going?
I win Saturday night.
Thomas?
I'm going to be the winner.
Good stuff. Looking forward to it. That's our second fight on the card, all live on Sky Sports, obviously, and the Zone in the US. We're going to break now for our head-to-head, and then obviously back to the Sky Sports and Matchroom Boxing streams for a quick interview with these two guys. Good to have Darren Barker as well, and Tony Bellew. We couldn't quite get rid of Darren Barker, so we had to bring Tony in as well as an extra guest. Looking forward to this fight, a huge fight for Joe Laws on Saturday night against Ryland Charlton. Both guys coming to win. Joe Laws, huge backing, huge support up in Newcastle. Ryland, we'll start with you. I'm sure you know a lot about Joe from rooming next door to him. Unfortunately, at the show, we've heard you your rooms are right next door to each other. But how are you feeling ahead of Saturday night? And obviously, do you feel the pressure's more on Joe to deliver than, you know, so you're going to go in there and deliver yourself, but do you feel the pressure from the fans will be more on Joe?
Yeah, for sure. I don't feel like there's much pressure on me, to be honest. I'm just going to get in there and do the job. But yeah, Joe's used to having his crowd behind him and stuff, and there's going to be no crowd there at the minute, so yeah, I feel like all pressure's on Joe, to be honest.
You've obviously built up on the small hall scene as well. You know, did you think that this opportunity would land for you? You know, this is a big fight. Big Joe Laws, he talks a lot, he's all over the place, got a lot of big fan base. You can take a big fan base from him here as well. So did you think a shot like this would land? And
do you
feel like this is a big opportunity?
This is what we've been waiting for like the whole time. Like, we've been training hard, and due to there's no crowds and stuff like that, they want to see proper fights on TV now. So yeah, this is what we've been waiting for. I'm just waiting for the call as soon as it's there. It's only a 2 weeks notice, but we've snapped up.
And you've obviously all across, as and where you could, you've been training all throughout the lockdown period, kept fit and ready to go on Saturday. Yeah, kept fit all throughout lockdown, and yeah, just this is the call we've been waiting for. And as soon as it came, yeah, we did snap it up, and that was that. Now here we are. And Joe, huge fight for you Saturday night, and a massive win. It could be a massive win for you. Do you feel, you know, you're used to having 1,000+ fans that you sell tickets to personally yourself? How do you think that will affect you not having them there? Do you think that will?
Listen, people think I'm just this brawler. I'm just this, like, I've been fighting since I was 14. I've had a good amateur pedigree. I don't care if the crowd there in the car park. I honestly couldn't be monkeys. Come Saturday, I'm going to win, and that's that.
New training team as well. I think you were training in Lanzarote. You moved across. How has that changed for you? Obviously, not being in your hometown.
Mint, I wanted to push myself out in the combat zone. I was just training back apartment. The gym was like 30-degree heat any day. It makes you mentally tough, mentally hard. That's been good around sparring, and I'm ready for war.
And obviously you make a lot of noise on social media. You know, you've got, as I said before, a huge fan base of people who attend. Do you feel like there's a bit of a target on your back because of, you know, the big show you create?
I've got a massive target on my back. I'm sick of going on social media and people calling us out, or people saying I'm shit, or I'm this, I'm that, you know what I mean? I'm just doing my thing, and if they want to speak bad about it, let them be, but I'm a sound kid, but when I get in the ring, I'm a fighter, and come Saturday, I'm fighting.
Riley, do you think in your mind that with Joe not having the crowd that he used to, you know, that support, I'm sure you've seen it on TV, do you think that will make a difference to how he fights on Saturday?
Yeah, for sure. I think we'll see the best Joe Laws Saturday night, 100%. Like you said, crowd or not, he's a fighter, so it's going to be a hell of a war, yeah.
Joe, we've got a question here from Robert Pilkington on our YouTube. He said, your old pal Devin Haney has a world title shot coming up. I'm interested to know, do you actually rate him, or is it all just an act?
The proof's in the pudding, isn't it? He's not there where he is for being garbage. But nah, he's good. He's a world level. He's young. He's come for the ranks, and he's beaten everyone who's put in front of him. So he's a good kid.
Rylan, I'll ask you first. How do you see it going on Saturday night? How's the win come for you?
I don't know how it's going to come, but it's going to come. Simple as that.
Wrong answer.
Okay, what's your answer then?
I'll knock him out.
Anything about that?
Not really, no. He's good at doing the talking, I'm good at doing the beating up, so we'll wait and see.
We'll see.
Right, very excited for this one. A huge fight Saturday night. Maybe if it's such a cracker, we can do it in front of 10,000 people as well next time in Newcastle.
Yep.
Sounds good to me.
Perfect. Let's do a quick face-to-face and then go and do a couple of interviews. For British title, Eliminator, Mark Lynch, Qais Ashfaq. Really looking forward to this one. Mark, we'll start with you. Interesting plot with this fight, because obviously you train with a team that Qais used to train with. How do you think that's going to help you in the fight?
It's not going to be different, you know. We've sparred each other over the years, so we know the fundamentals. But it's quite a while ago, so I'm just going to take every round as it comes and perform to the best I can, basically.
Moving up to super bantamweight for this fight, do you feel that extra bit of weight will help you in it?
Yeah, I feel a bit stronger, you know. It's the last 2 or 3 pounds everyone knows is always the hardest to make. And I'm going to have to do that this time, so I'm feeling fit, strong, yeah, so I can't wait now.
And winning this fight, there's the opportunity for the British title fight. What does that mean to you?
It means a lot. Like I said, Jamie's the coach. He's had the British title and bring it back to Salford where it belongs. You know, my weight or the weight above. I've been the opportunity to fight in the shows like this, and I thank Kirsten and everyone else for accepting it. Yeah.
And Qais, obviously you moved teams recently. Just moved over to Angel Fernandez. How's that helped you?
It's been amazing. You know, I feel like I'm coming on leaps and bounds with Angel and the team in Loughborough and Mick the second coach. So yeah, I'm looking forward to showing what I'm about Saturday night.
And again, same for you, British title opportunity after this fight. Excited for that, obviously what a lot of people dream for, dream to do in this sport.
Without doubt, that's the next step. Get this fight away Saturday. Good win in style, and we want to win that British title.
Obviously you linked up as well with 258 management, Anthony Joshua's management team. How do you think that will give you extra opportunities as well along the, you know, he's obviously got the likes of Joshua Buatsi, Lawrence Coley, Sully Sissoko, and now you've joined the team as well. Excited for that?
Yeah, part of fresh new team management as well as coaching. I believe it's freshened me up in many ways, and I'm learning things that, you know, are going to show on Saturday, and like I say, look forward to showing up the improvements, and the management team will drive me the right way now as well.
You've obviously been looking for a big breakout fight. Do you feel that this is the fight for you to do that and show your quality and your skills?
Whatever fight I was going to get was going to be that. Like I say, I'm learning a lot in the gym now. My improvements have been huge, and you know, I feel Mark Lynch and everyone else, it was going to be a breakout fight.
We've got a question for you from Matchroom Twitter. John Dudley asks, how are the facilities in Loughborough University and how will they help you develop?
Facilities are unbelievable. You may or may not know, Loughborough University itself has been rated the best university in the world for the last 4 years, and that's just shows itself how good it is in terms of sports. Facilities are unbelievable. We've got everything that we need: psychologists, physiologists, S&C, nutrition, whatever you need, we've got there. And yes, great step to be part of.
And Mark, how do you see it going Saturday night? How do you see the fight playing out?
It's going to be a bit cagey, you know, because we've both previously seen each other, but I reckon I'm going to win in a point, yeah. You know, you've got to be confident, I reckon I'll win.
Okay, I'm sure the same for you. You feel that you can go in there and do the job in style?
Doesn't matter to me how it goes, as long as I win, and God willing, that's the plan. I'm going to go in there and win.
Thanks very much, guys. Really looking forward to this one. Chief support just prior to our main event of Miguel Vazquez against Lewis Ritson. We're going to break head-to-head and interviews again. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Chris. Can't wait for this one, the main event of the evening. Third time lucky. It was supposed to happen in April, then June. Finally now it takes place. Both guys here, both guys clear. And a huge fight, especially for Lewis Ritson's career. Miguel Vazquez is a real tough test for him, and we can't wait to see it. A big difference, a big change, no crowd there. We're used to seeing this crazy atmosphere in Newcastle. I'm sure we'll be back there as soon as we can, but you know, the key was get the fight on for both guys. Miguel, we'll start with you. I think, as we said there, this fight has been spoken about for the last 8 months. We were supposed to be doing this fight. Obviously, COVID's delayed that. You must know everything about Lewis Ritson. You feel ready for this fight more than ever.
Obviamente hemos tenido el retraso de 8 meses por el tema del COVID. Supongo que ya sabes absolutamente todo.
Sí, claro que sí, ya sabemos. Hemos estado entrenando para esta pelea, para estar listos para pelear en esta función que para mí es una pelea muy importante y tener enfrente a un peleador muy fuerte.
Yes, we've been training this for a long time. Obviously it got delayed, and we've been ready for this fight for a long time, and against a really tough fighter in Lewis Ritson.
Miguel, obviously you have aspirations to go on and win another world title. How do you feel, this is obviously a big step now, ahead of a huge fight against Lewis Ritson, number 2 ranked at the WBA, you can jump in here, steal his position, you know, is this probably the biggest moment in your career at this point?
Sí, claro que sí, es una oportunidad grande, bastante buena para mí. Sé que esta pelea pues no va a ser nada fácil, sé que vamos a dar una muy buena pelea. Yo vengo confiado en mi preparación y vengo dispuesto a ganar.
Yes, it's a great opportunity for me. It's a really big fight for me, and it's not going to be an easy one at all, which is why I've been prepping as hard as I possibly can do for this.
And finally, what can the fans expect to see from Miguel Vazquez on Saturday night?
Bueno, los fans pueden esperar a un Miguel Vazquez bien preparado, a un Miguel Vazquez que quiere volver a ser campeón del mundo. Esta es mi oportunidad para volver a estar en las grandes ligas y que el mundo sepa que Miguel Vazquez todavía está vigente.
When people come and see the fights, they can expect Miguel Vazquez that's prepared to go on to be world champion again. Miguel Vazquez that comes very prepared for this fight and ready to win.
Thank you, Miguel. Lewis, on to you. Obviously, we spoke there about this fight should have taken place in April, then June. You must know Miguel like the back of your hand now. Done a lot of studying on him, training for a long time, and ready more than ever, I'm sure.
Yeah, ready more than ever. I personally haven't watched much of Vazquez. I just do that with my coach Neil. He comes up with the game plan, and we'll bring our A game, and that'll be enough.
And obviously, as I say, you know, this is at a stage of your career where you're number 2 at the WBA. A big win here could step on and world title in the near future. Obviously, it looks like Taylor's going to be locked up. With the Ramirez fight. So do you see maybe a fight with the likes of Prograde as the next step for you?
The next step's just trying to get past Vazquez and not looking at anyone else. He's going to be focused on Saturday, and then if we can get past him, which we're confident we can, then we'll start mentioning their names.
You've been sparring with Josh Taylor in the build-up as well for this. Do you feel like you've learned a lot in that process as well?
I've been sparring with a lot of good fighters in the lockdown, which has been good for us, and we'll just keep improving all the time. I think the lockdown's benefited us quite a bit, being able to go to the weight, and we're just expecting a good performance Saturday night.
And you probably have the best crowd, I think, in world boxing. You know, having travelled all around the world, seeing the arenas we go to, your crowd is like nothing I've ever seen. How do you think that's going to affect you, not having them behind you? Obviously, you'll be focused more than ever, I'm sure, on the fight itself, with the noise not there. But how do you think you're going to find that?
No, like I say, we would have not been there, but you know, I think it'll be a lot less pressure on me with them not there, and I think I'll put on an even better performance just behind closed doors with no pressure on my shoulders.
And Miguel's only been stopped twice in a 51 fight career. Do you feel making a statement, going out there, getting a stoppage win will be big for your career?
Yeah, very big, but we're not going to go out there looking for that. We're just going to see how the fight goes, and then once Neil tells me to step it up, that's what I'll do, and we'll see what happens on the fight night.
We've got a few questions from fans. So, firstly to Miguel, you boxed Canelo in your debut, and then 20 fights later. You know, how was that? I mean, there can't be many people who have done that. Do you learn a lot from those fights? And you know, it must have been a big experience looking back now.
Una pregunta que te han hecho es, primeramente, tu debut fue contra Canelo, después llegaste también a partir de 20 peleas. Supongo que habías aprendido mucho de las dos peleas y qué gran experiencia.
Sí, fue una gran experiencia pelear contra Canelo, y después pues Timothy Bradley y todas las peleas que tuve después de que recibí oportunidad de campeonato me han dado la gran experiencia para poder estar en donde estoy ahorita.
Yeah, I mean, all the fights that I've had have enabled me to get where I am now. It was a great experience fighting against Canelo, but all the people I've faced during my period as world champion as well were important for my career.
Thank you. And Peter Squires on our Matchroom Boxing Twitter asked a question for you, Lewis. How do you think the lockdown has benefited you, giving time to work on things, or do you think in any way it's hindered you, or do you feel it's giving you extra time to add to your skill set?
No, extra time. Neil's gym, where we trained on his own land, so we haven't had to not go to the gym or couldn't go, so we've been in there for lockdown. The 2 fights have been cancelled, still been in the gym training hard, so you're going to see a lot better and a lot more polished Lewis Ritson come Saturday night.
Thanks very much, Lewis. Thanks, Miguel. A huge night.